They didn't just steal my money. They stole my trust, my security, and the last ounce of hope I had that I mattered in this family. And now they want more. I found out about the theft on a Tuesday. You know the kind: deadlines, emails, ramen again for lunch. I've been saving for grad school for over 2 years, scraping together what I could from tutoring, part-time gigs, and sheer willpower. My plan was to start next fall. I had $5,800 in my savings account, just enough for the deposit, textbooks, and to hold me over until scholarships kicked in. Then poof, it was gone. I was staring at my bank app, blinking like an idiot, refreshing the page 3 times as if the money might magically reappear. I called the bank thinking maybe it was fraud. That would have been better. But it wasn't fraud. It was authorized by my mom. Apparently, because I still had a shared emergency account from when I was 16, a backup plan she insisted on keeping, she had transferred my funds to cover an urgent family need. That need? My younger brother Jason's birthday party. Jason is 17. He's also the golden boy. Football star, mom's favorite, dad's mini-me. When he wanted a $7,000 blowout party with a DJ, fireworks, and a private venue, my parents didn't say no. They just said, "We'll make it happen." And by make it happen, they meant rob their daughter. I called my mom immediately. "Why would you take my money?" I screamed the second she answered. She sighed like I was the unreasonable one. "Honey, it was for Jason. You know how important this is to him. And you're always saving. We thought you'd understand." Understand what? That I was an ATM? I tried my dad next. He was worse. Said, "You'll make more money. Jason only turns 18 once. He's turning 18 next month, by the way." They wanted to do it early while everyone's still around from school. But here's the kicker. They didn't even tell me. I found out after it happened. After the transfer. After the damage. And now no three asking if I can chip in a little more, because the venue raised the price. I wish I was joking. I haven't spoken to Jason since. When I texted him, all he said was, "Don't be mad. Mom said you'd help. It's just a party." Like I'm being dramatic for caring about $5,000 that I earned on my knees scrubbing rich people's floors and tutoring spoiled brats through calculus. This isn't just about the money. This is about every Christmas when Jason got the big gifts and I got socks. It's about every school concert they skipped for my debate championships because Jason had a game. It's about every time I was told, "You're the responsible one." He's still learning. Apparently, he's still learning how to spend other people's money. I thought about just walking away, cutting ties, letting them drown in their own narcissism. But then a strange thing happened. My Aunt Mom's estranged sister called me. I hadn't spoken to her in years. I didn't even know she had my number. "Sweetie," she said, "I heard what happened. Your mom posted pictures from the party on Facebook." My jaw dropped. It already happened? Yes, the party already happened. A week ago. They posted about it while I was working overtime to try and build back what they took. There were fireworks, a damn food truck, a DJ spinning tracks, Jason standing on a stage holding a mic like he was Kanye. And they used my money. My aunt said, "I saw your name tagged in one of the comments. Someone said you helped sponsor it. Is that true?" I wanted to scream. Instead I asked, "Can I stay with you for a while?" There was a long pause. Then yes. "Yes, you can." I packed that night. I left a note. Not a sweet one. Just the truth. "I'm done being your backup plan. Find someone else to rob." I haven't looked back. But they've been texting. Nonstop. The latest? "We're hurt that you're acting like this. Jason's still your brother. Family means sacrifice." Funny. I've never seen Jason sacrifice a thing. There's more. A lot more. But maybe you're wondering, why am I posting this here? Because my mom is now telling extended family that I contributed willingly to Jason's party, and that I'm refusing to help with the after-party event they're planning. Yes, there's an after-party. And yes, they still want more money. Apparently, they've already put down a deposit. In my name. And if I don't pay, they say it'll ruin my credit and reputation. I've been told by 2 cousins and 1 nosy neighbor that I'm being cold. That I owe my family because they raised me. That I'm lucky I didn't have to pay rent growing up. Is this gaslighting? I don't even know anymore. All I know is I'm out $5,000, my grad school plans are up in flames, and my family is treating me like a villain because I dared to say no. Am I really the bad guy here? It's amazing what people will say to you when they've decided your pain is inconvenient. Within 3 days of leaving, the group chat with my extended family turned into a full-blown guilt parade. My uncle from Texas, who hadn't spoken to me since I was 14, sent a voice note calling me ungrateful. My grandma asked if I was going through a rebellious phase. And my mom? She posted a Facebook status that read, "Some people forget who loved them first. Blood isn't always enough, I guess. Heartbroken, broken heart." The likes started pouring in. Distant cousins, church friends, people who knew nothing about me but knew just enough to judge. I didn't comment. I didn't defend myself. But I screenshotted everything. Then Jason messaged me. "You seriously moved out over a party? Grow up." That was it. No apology. No explanation. Just that arrogant, dismissive tone he always used when things didn't go his way. I stared at the message, heart pounding, and typed back something I'd been holding in for years. "I didn't move out over a party. I moved out because you're 17 and acting like the world owes you something. Because mom and dad would rather ruin my future than say no to you. And because I'm tired of pretending I matter when clearly I don't." He left me on read. The next day, Aunt Marie, the one I'm staying with, sat me down. She poured tea and handed me a warm croissant, like we were about to talk about the weather, not the implosion of my family. Then she said, "Your mother did the same thing to me once." I blinked. "What?" She nodded. "Back when we were in college. Our parents passed away and left us a small inheritance. Not much, just enough for me to afford a semester abroad. She promised she wouldn't touch it." She paused. "Guess what she did?" I didn't need to guess. She borrowed it for a guy she was dating. Said it was an emergency. Said she'd pay me back. I never saw a dime. That hit me like a brick. My mom had always painted Aunt Marie as the flaky one. The selfish one. The reason the family was distant. But now I saw it differently. Maybe she hadn't walked away. Maybe she'd escaped. "I see so much of myself in you," Aunt Marie said. "You're strong. You've always been the fixer. The one who holds everything together. But you don't have to carry this." I cried. I didn't even realize I was crying until she handed me a napkin. I asked her, "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" She smiled sadly. "You weren't ready to see it yet." Something shifted in me that day. Like a fog had cleared. And then, twist incoming, I got a call from my old manager at the tutoring center. She'd heard through the grapevine what happened and offered me a temporary full-time position for the summer. Double my usual pay. It wasn't grad school, but it was a start. I said yes. The same night I emailed my bank. Explained the situation in detail, including the fact that I never authorized the transfer. Because here's something I learned. Even if your name is on an account, if you're the primary depositor and someone moves your funds without consent, especially for non-emergency reasons, it's possible to challenge it. They started a review. I didn't tell my parents. Not yet. I wanted them to feel secure in their lie just a little longer. But karma has a funny way of working quickly when you finally stand up for yourself. That weekend, Jason's after-party plans started unraveling. The caterer backed out because the deposit check bounced. Then the venue called Memo to confirm I'd be paying the remaining $2,500. I said no. I never agreed to this. That signature isn't mine. There was silence. Then the woman said, "We'll be forwarding this to legal then." And just like that, my name was now involved in a potential fraud investigation. I called my parents immediately. My mom picked up, her voice all sugar. "Honey, how are you?" "I just got a call from the venue," I said. "Why is my name on their contract?" Her tone changed fast. "We thought it would be easier that way. You have good credit. It's not like you're using it for anything." That last sentence was a slap. I was quiet. Then I said, "You're going to pay it. Every cent. Or I'll report this." She gasped. "You wouldn't." "Watch me." I hung up. 5 minutes later, my dad texted me. "You've changed." And maybe I had. Maybe I finally stopped letting love be a one-way street. Then something incredible happened. The bank sided with me. They flagged the transaction as unauthorized access to a joint account under contested ownership and reversed it. Within 24 hours, my $5,000 was back in my account. I stared at the screen like I'd just seen a ghost. Aunt Marie hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. But the fallout wasn't over. Oh no. The next day, my mom sent a mass email to the entire family. Subject line: "Please pray for us." She claimed I'd accused her of theft, that I was attacking the family, and that she was heartbroken by the lies being spread. Lies. That word did something to me. So I did what any older sibling who's done being quiet would do. I posted my side. I uploaded screenshots, the bank email, the venue message, the bounce check, the photos from the party tagged with my name. And then at the bottom I wrote, "If protecting my future makes me selfish, then I guess I am. But I won't apologize for refusing to be your scapegoat anymore." It went semi-viral in my little corner of social media. Friends messaged. Strangers commented. Even two of my cousins, who'd originally sided with my mom, apologized and said they had no idea. Neither did I, honestly. I had no idea how much of my life I'd spent minimizing myself so others could shine. And now, I'm finally done. I've blocked my parents. I've cut ties with Jason. I'm saving again, this time in a completely new account, under a new bank with no shared access. I still cry sometimes. Not for the money, but for the years I lost thinking love had to be earned with silence. Turns out love doesn't steal from you. It doesn't lie. It doesn't treat your boundaries like suggestions. Protects you. And if your own family can't do that, then you have every right to protect yourself. The silence from my parents was louder than any scream. After I made my post and the truth began to spread, there were no calls, no texts, not even the usual guilt-laced emails. It was like they'd gone into hiding, or maybe they were just regrouping. But for the first time in my life, I wasn't waiting for their response. I was learning how to breathe without their shadow hovering over every choice I made. The thing about reclaiming your voice is that it doesn't stop with just one scream. Once you let it out, it echoes, and you start to hear everything you've been silencing for years. I began therapy. Aunt Marie insisted on paying for the first few sessions, though I eventually found a sliding scale therapist who specialized in family trauma. I told her everything, starting with the birthday money, then unraveling the long, aching thread of favoritism, emotional manipulation, and quiet neglect. She said something in our second session that changed me. "You were trained to believe your needs were burdens. But they're not. They're valid. And they've always been." I cried harder in that session than I had in years. Around the same time, I started receiving messages from people I didn't expect, other family members who had been burned by my parents in one way or another. My cousin Elise told me she'd loaned my dad money for a business opportunity 5 years ago and never saw it again. My mom's cousin Julia messaged, "Your mom used my credit to open a Target card when we were in college. I never even knew until collections called me." One by one they came forward. Small betrayals, quiet thefts, all hidden under the guise of family helps family. It hit me hard. I wasn't the first. I was just the first to say it out loud. But even in that empowerment, there were moments of grief. I missed the idea of parents who protected me. I missed the comfort of being a daughter who felt safe. That illusion was gone. And grief doesn't care whether it was a lie, it still hurts to lose it. Then, a month after I posted my story, something unexpected happened. Jason showed up. Not metaphorically. He literally showed up at Aunt Marie's door. It was a Sunday afternoon. I was in sweats working through grad school applications. Yes, I'm still going by the way, different school, different plan, but it's happening. The doorbell rang and I thought it was Uber Eats. Instead, it was Jason. He looked different. Not physically, still had that same golden boy glow, the football shoulders, the too perfect smile, but something in his eyes was off, or maybe just real for once. "Can we talk?" he asked. I didn't say anything. Just stepped aside. We sat in the kitchen. He wouldn't touch his tea, just stared into it like it held the answers. Then he said, "I didn't know it would ruin your future." I blinked. "You knew it was my savings. What did you think would happen?" He shrugged. "Mom said you had plenty. She made it sound like you were fine." I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so on brand for her to rewrite reality like that. He looked down. She's been crying a lot. I tilted my head. Because she got caught or because she feels guilty? He didn't answer. Then he pulled something out of his pocket. Check. For what I could save, he said. It's not much. I've been doing part-time work at the gym. I stared at the check $900. It wasn't $5,000, but it was the first time Jason had ever acknowledged anything beyond himself. Why now? I asked. He hesitated, then said something I didn't expect. Because I saw the video. I frowned. What video? The one from the party. You know, the part where Mom gave a speech. I nodded slowly. She said, "We owe this night to our amazing daughter, who gave so much to make this happen." My mouth went dry. I thought she meant she asked you. I thought you agreed. He looked at me, guilt raw in his eyes. Then I saw your post. And I realized she lied to me too. That was the twist I didn't see coming. Jason hadn't just been selfish. He'd been used as a pawn, celebrated with money he didn't know was stolen, and turned into the reason his sister left when really it was our parents all along. For the first time I saw him not as my rival, not as the favorite but as a kid. A confused, manipulated kid. I softened. I don't hate you, I said. His shoulders dropped. But I need space. And trust doesn't come back just because someone says sorry. Takes time. It takes effort. He nodded. Then he left the check on the counter, looked me in the eye and said, "I'll earn it. I promise." When he left, I didn't cry. I just sat in the quiet, letting it settle. Forgiveness didn't come instantly, but maybe for the first time it felt possible. Later that week, the bank called again. They'd followed up on the fraudulent venue contract and confirmed the signature was forged. The venue agreed to remove my name from all liability. My credit was safe. But there were still consequences for my parents. They were under investigation. Apparently, forging a contract using someone else's identity for financial gain, especially if it crosses state lines, can carry serious legal repercussions. I didn't press charges. I told the investigator I just wanted out. But they said the venue might still pursue it. And I thought, good. Let the system they trusted to shield them for so long finally show them that actions have consequences. Then, something even more unexpected happened. A woman messaged me on LinkedIn. Her name was Sharon. She worked at a nonprofit focused on helping first-gen students navigate grad school and finances. She'd read my story. Somehow, through the tangled web of social media and mutual connections, it had reached her. She said, "We'd love to offer you a scholarship and mentorship package, if you're still planning to go." I was stunned. I had no words. For every door my parents tried to slam shut, the world was cracking open a window. And I was walking through it. I used to think justice came with a bang. Courtrooms, headlines, dramatic reveals. But now I know it's quieter than that. Sometimes justice is a door that finally closes. A silence that means they're not calling anymore. A weight you didn't even know you were carrying suddenly gone. 3 months after everything went down, I moved into my own apartment. A small studio, nothing fancy. But it was mine. I signed the lease with my name, with my money, and the keys felt heavier in my hand than they had any right to. Not because they were made of metal, but because they represented freedom, boundaries, a new beginning. Grad school starts next semester. Thanks to the scholarship from Sharon's nonprofit, I'll be studying part-time while continuing to work at the tutoring center full-time. It's not the path I originally imagined, but it's mine now and I love it. Jason checks in sometimes. Just little things. A meme. A house school. He never pressures. He doesn't ask for forgiveness. He just shows up consistently, quietly. And that says more than any apology could. One day I asked him, "Did they ever apologize to you?" He didn't answer for a long time. Then he said, "They don't really do apologies. You know that." Yeah, I did. But something had changed in him. He wasn't defending them anymore. He wasn't begging me to come back. He'd finally stopped trying to bridge the impossible gap between loyalty and truth. The investigation into my parents eventually fizzled out technicalities, lack of hard evidence, the venue choosing not to press charges once their losses were covered. I was disappointed at first. But I realized I didn't need the courts to validate what I already knew. They'd lost something far more valuable than money or reputation. They'd lost me. And unlike what they took from me, they couldn't just steal that back. In therapy, we talked a lot about grief. Not just the grief of what happened, but the grief of what didn't need childhood I didn't get. The protection I didn't receive. The mother who never saw me unless I was useful. The father who only listened when it made him feel like a hero. I had to mourn the version of them I built in my head. The one who loved me unconditionally. The one who would have fought for me instead of against me. I'll never get that back. But now I know I don't need them to become whole. Aunt Marie was right. I wasn't ready to see it before. But I see it now. All of it. And I've never been clearer. Some days it still stings. A song. A movie. The way a friend casually mentions their mom helping them move. It sneaks up like a cold wind, soft but biting. But then I remind myself, I broke the cycle. I walked away. And I didn't lose a family, I left a dynamic that was breaking me. There's power in that. Last week, I got an email from a girl I've never met. She said she read my story and it gave her the courage to say no to her dad, who kept draining her savings for his gambling problem. She said, I thought standing up to family meant I was heartless, but now I see it means I finally have a heart for myself. That's the moment I knew. This wasn't just my story anymore. It was hers. Yours. Ours. Every person who's been gaslit into guilt. Every sibling who's been treated like a second-class citizen. Every daughter who's been told family first, when what they really meant was you last. You are not selfish for saying no. You are not cruel for protecting your peace. You are not broken for walking away. You are brave. And if nobody has told you that yet, let me be the first. You are so brave.